There we go. Oh. I cannot begin to tell you guys how many technical issues we ran into trying to get this going. So just to make sure everything's working, I'm giving it a listen back real quick. So if you hear silence, it's just me giving it a second so I can listen. Honestly, it sounds pretty nice, pretty balanced. Let's go ahead and turn it over. Let's get that music out. And I'm going to go ahead and turn over to the game really quickly. Well, that would have been smarter if I would have had... my switcher open. But I didn't, so bear with me for just a second. There it is. It's one of those things where it never rains, but it pours. That's where we are right now with this stream. Once I get everything situated and settled, I'll explain what's going on here. Go ahead and turn that off there. There we go. And that looks better. It wasn't going to do it for me, but it will now. And I believe it's this one. There we go. Sorry. Okay, and we're going to hear just kind of how loud I am compared to the volume of the game. Which is a great time to do that because I did it when the music wasn't going, so the music was quiet anyway, it didn't matter. Okay, that sounds pretty good to me. Alright. Let me get this moved over. Let me get chat up. My goodness. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. So right now I can't hear the game. I'm just listening to myself. I'm gonna go ahead and explain while you guys are seeing the eye catch what's gone on and what happened. I would have actually had the stream done ready about an hour and a half ago. But the capture card failed. It had to be updated. The update was failing. Couldn't get that going. Finally got that to go after a couple of reboots. OBS wasn't operating because it had an update that I hadn't done. And the update wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. The mixer was having trouble with the balance of everything. It was just one thing after another. So, I apologize. Hopefully everything sounds and looks good, and we're back where we should be, but it was an ordeal. You're also probably wondering where Anna is, and I will answer that question for you. She is on the Twitch stream, her Twitch stream. I think she's still on. I'm not positive. But one way or the other, her Twitch stream link is in my description here. We decided to do two separate things. So today I'm doing this, which was part of a request/permission that I was given on the at the end of my last Castlevania stream. So that's what we'll be doing here. And then on her channel, she is actually competing, I believe, or at least she's attempting to participate in a very special, awesome, competitive build for a Sims challenge. And she has put blood, sweat, and tears into this. It is really remarkable. I'm going to take that down so you don't keep hearing notifications. Actually, I think I can... Well, I don't want to do that. Yeah, actually, you know what? I will. Let's just see if I can find my... and see if that prevents the noises. There we go. She is building a really awesome project over there for the competition. I don't know if I want to spoil it, or rather I would invite you to go over there if you are less interested in platforming and more interested in some awesome history. You know what, I'll tell it because I think it's compelling. I don't think she'd be upset because it's on there. She is building a Sims recreation of the H.H. Holmes murder hotel, which is really cool. H.H. Holmes was America's first serial killer, so we're not necessarily endorsing that. But it was a really intricately designed hotel built in really odd ways, and it was really interesting. So, if anyone is less interested in the platforming and retro and more interested in awesome building and her, I would absolutely advise in my description, just click the Siren Ivy link. It'll take you straight to her channel. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, excuse me, and hit a button. And I already have a profile started. I'm gonna put in a couple of cheat codes for this because today what I'm doing is should be fairly simple. Let me do it here. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to run through the entire game. Depending on how much time that takes me, I'm gonna try to run through Krematoa as well, but that's going to require a couple of passwords, cheat codes, and I am going to be using 3 cheat codes in this just because this is not an official sort of run or any of that. I am going to give myself a safety net. Let me accidentally hit the wrong button and hold on one second. I think you guys can still hear me. I don't know why I'm getting echo. For some reason, I was getting echo on my side of me, and I don't know why. So, but anyway, I think I'm gonna do it again real quick because I just don't know. Never know. You guys should still be able to hear me, but I should also be able to hear the game. I can hear the game. Yeah, I think I sound pretty decent on there. I think it's pretty nice and balanced. All kinds of weird stuff today. There we go. Push that. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, all kinds. Anything that wants to malfunction today seems to be along for that ride right now, so but it's okay. So anyway, the idea is that I'm going to try and pass it the whole game, and I'm not saying all the special 103, none of that, just trying to get through it from beginning to end. I'm going to put a couple of cheat codes in, just depending on how much time they may assist me, give me a little bit of safety net. I'm going to do left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. The first pass cheat code I'm going to put in doesn't give me any safety net, it's just a preference. And it is the word color. The next one also doesn't give me any safety net. It's just a it's just it's going to allow me to do a bonus thing I wouldn't normally be able to do if, hold on 1 second, I figure out what's going on. There we go. It's just going to allow me to open up additional, if I have the time for it, it's going to let me open up an additional area that I can go through, which may also not go well, so we'll see what happens. And then this one is the safety net. You know what? I don't need the safety net. So you can actually put in a save, and it will auto save after every level. That way, if you get a game over, you have. If you get a game over, then it won't start you from the latest save point, but it'll actually auto save for you. But I don't think I need that. So go ahead and select that. And there aren't any levels done. I'll show you what water does here in a second. Just gonna go ahead and pop into Funky's Rentals. This is the very first time. If you use any of the safety net stuff, which are, there's two of them. There's A save and lives. A save will auto save after every level, and lives will give you 50 lives instead of the normal. I think it's 5 you start with, or 6 with you counting 0. You'll automatically get a cheat and chump award at the very end if you do it before you start your new file. Even if you do really well. So the idea is just to kind of go through this, try to bulldoze through it as quickly as we can. It's kind of like a speed run, but without the pressure, because otherwise there's no way I'll perform well. I'm also not doing any sort of 103 or 105% nonsense. Do I want to do DK? I don't need to do DK coins. We won't do that. DK coins are for the ending point. The end point gives you the gyrocopter, which is the true ending of DKC3. It's the same. Oops. It's the same as the previous DKCs. Boop. And I won't speak any on those other DKCs just yet, as I would like to work on a thing on them with this in tandem. But I've run this on the channel a couple of times. I don't think anyone will be too terribly upset at me for running through it, because I was told it was an okay thing to do. So I hope it was still an okay thing to do, and I didn't miss the window or something like that on there. This is one of those games like Banjo-Kazooie that I like to run once a year or so, and it's just barely 2023, so technically wouldn't be breaking any rules there. Over to the left is a bonus barrel, by the way, if anyone's wondering. DKC3 is the one I am the most familiar with. I've played and passed all of them, but this is the one I'm the most familiar with. And it's the one that I probably like the most, honestly. Although I won't explain all of the details as to why. But I think I like this one the most. Even though I can objectively say other games might be stronger. I didn't need that bear coin, because I'm not doing all the Brothers Bear things. You'll get to see what the water cheat did too. I don't think you get cheat and chump for that. I don't think he even recognizes. There we are. Kitty's got a bigger hitbox, but he flows better because the glide move, which is a move that everybody wants, get two up there, is actually slows you down quite a bit, which is a bit of a bummer. Okay. The thing I also really like about this, and I've introduced it before, is that each level has a gimmick, and it's really done well. I know that a lot of it's not done perfectly by any stretch. I've watched other people play this, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't intuitive at all." But I found out that once you look back at it, and you're like, it kind of does actually. It makes a lot of sense. And so I'm not doing anything revolutionary with when I'm going to explain how this is supposed to work. I'm not doing anything revolutionary. I think they did a pretty darn good job of making it, explaining it. This roll bounce also works like Diddy's extendo rolls. I hate this part because you have to. But the gimmick, I did when I did a run last time. I did a run where I kind of explained that each level has a new gimmick and teaches a new mechanic. That's still the case. This is exactly what happens. So if you take a look at each of these, I explained it in the last one, but they each have a new element that's being introduced. So in this case, it's actually two elements in this case. It's actually foreground elements and snow physics. Or ice physics, I guess, rather. You can see where I slipped. And it also teaches about Skidda, who are one of the few, if not the only enemies that I feel like don't actually warrant the enemy. I just want... There. Not even trying to get your coin, you can have it. They are, one of the... That's okay. Ah, I didn't want to get caught by that. I wanted to... Okay, that's fine. There we go. It doesn't matter if I get the bonuses with what I'm about to do, so... Oh, son of a gun! I should have, I should have, played better. Okay. There we go. She's probably more handy in this level, just because even though it slows you down, you do get... one of the things I want to do, which I think would be really fun... Son of a gun. One of the things I think would be really fun with this is a randomizer. There we go. There's apparently a randomizer out there that lets you... basically, the way... I don't know if anyone's... I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with what a randomizer is. But in this particular... I hate this part, because you also have to slow down. The... hitting them on the side of their tail will kill you. There we go. The thing I really wanted to do, the reason I wanted to do a randomizer on this is because I've played this a lot. You couldn't tell through that performance. But I've actually played it quite a few times. And, there we go. The, randomizer would change up the enemy layouts, and it would change up some of the... It would change... I don't think it changes the level layouts. I don't think that's the case. I think it just changes enemy layouts and the like, but I'm not 100% positive. But if it did change the level layouts, I'd be super happy. Also, that'd be kind of cool. Let's see if we can do it in 2. Probably... 2 is, I believe, the minimum you can do on Belcha. One of the things I really love about this game, too, is it also... They all had... really unique. They made the boss fights really unique. I think this is to any game. I'm not just speaking on the Donkey Kong Country. Take a look at the Mario games where most of the boss fights are kind of diversified, but they all really boil down to, with the exception of Iggy, they all kind of boil down to the same thing. With the exception of Iggy and Bowser, they all kind of boil down to jump on the head of the enemy once they're vulnerable. Windy, you have to do the same. Let's might be able to do it here, so we'll just let it happen. Go ahead and switch to her real quick. She's got a smaller hurt box. You can actually, the little toes, the little wiggly toes of Kitty's onesie are considered part of the hurt box, which is a real shame. Boop. But yeah, the Mario villains, you take a look, Iggy's kind of unique, and then you take a look at Bowser, and Bowser's unique, but when you take a look at everyone else, when you think about it, they're all kind of the same boss. You may have to wait a little longer, or you may have to dodge a different thing, but ultimately you're going to have to jump on the head of the bad guy. And so I like that these kind of diversified this in a really fun way. So we're going to jump into Riverside Race. I would like to beat Brash. It doesn't matter if I do. I do need Kitty for this to be optimal. I also thought that each, again, a gimmick. You have bees that are following you. You can't go backwards. You can't backtrack. And then ideally you're trying to beat a time. And then that time, it's 1 minute 15 seconds is the time you're trying to beat the level. And it's very, very difficult to beat the level and get to beat the time and get all of the extra stuff. The top of the top can probably do it. But see how those are called knickknacks. You have to go back and actually dodge them and jump on them to go up and get like a bonus barrel and such. So if you're doing 103, 105, that slows you down a ton because you actually have to race and get that 115 time, but you also, on top of that, have to get, 1 minute 15 time. But then you also have to go back and get like the DK coins and all that. Okay, that's plenty. I beat him by 10 seconds. That's not too bad. I'm not even going to go bother with him, so it doesn't make a big difference. But normally he'll get mad when you beat him. Oh, he'll get mad when you beat him, and he'll actually open up a bonus level. Kitty actually, despite the fact that he's the brunt, he actually feels like he's got a real sense of flow to him. I think they did a really good job making Kitty feel pretty good. He's not optimal for some of the stuff. For example, that would have been easier with that would have been easier with Dixie technically, or less risky rather, because she holds it above her head. I could have just jumped, but it doesn't matter. Boop. This is one of the few Let's Play things that I do that actually sounds like a Let's Play, because I kind of know what I'm doing. But it's still about community, obviously. It's just, this is something I feel I can speak with maybe a smidge more authority than I normally would. And I'm still nowhere near as good as half of the people that try to actually run this. Because really? This can be a pretty tough game to run. Of the games that I feel like I could speak on with any level of authority, probably, I think it may be, and I may have said this in previous ones, but I think this one, Banjo-Kazooie, probably, not Banjo-Tooie at all. And I highly encourage anybody who has any questions about Banjo-Tooie, I would highly encourage them to take a look at Viddy's playthrough of that, where he's got so many more answers than I have. I don't know I like Banjo-Tooie, but I don't know it nearly as well. I've only passed it maybe 2-3 times. Whereas Banjo-Kazooie, I try to pass once a year, whether it's on stream or not. Whoops. Just toss that in the works. But Banjo-Kazooie, Super Mario World would be another one that I think I could probably speak on decently intelligently. And Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. Which, by the way, an apology to Omega. We tried to get the Disney game done, and we tried to do it on stream. We did do it before New Year's and all that, and it just did. Good lord. Okay, we'll just do it the easy way. There we are. And we got pretty close to the end, and we failed and had to start all the way over. And it's already a really challenging game. We just didn't make it in time. Parry the parallel bird. And get a couple of lives. And I didn't want to cop out and go for Aladdin for the SNES, because you had said that might be a little too... So we tried the Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse, and we got pretty darn close to completing it, and it just didn't end up working out the way we had hoped. We got farther than we had ever gotten, which we're very happy about. We will go back and try to pass it again, but that game is hard. Like, that's a legitimately hard game. At least, I think it is, but then again, this could be considered a legitimately hard game to people that aren't as familiar with it as myself. I have been playing this since '96, so that's, and part of the thing, I don't know about this, I would love to test it, but part of it, I feel like games feel more difficult when you grow up. it's like, oh, I could never pass this as an adult, but then as a kid I did. One of those I would like to go back and try is Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I passed that game repeatedly as a kid, and I've not gone back and retry. I mean, I passed the first Super Star Wars on the channel. I need to go back and do Empire. Empire is really hard. I guess it's not that much worse, but anyway, I feel like that as a younger, you know, kid, teenager, whatever. Maybe it was that I was more adamant about passing the game. I don't know, but either way, I'll go ahead and let him pass. I almost feel like maybe I was better as a younger one than I am now as an adult. And obviously, I'm well into adulthood, so it's one of those that oh, it's fine. I can't. It'd be a difficult metric to measure. I don't feel like my reaction time is that much slower, but maybe it is, or maybe my concentration is not as focused as it was on video games. Maybe I've got adult problems to think about, and I don't realize it. I don't think that's what's going on, but that's okay. I will say part of the cheap thrill of this is that one they're introducing the springing spider, right? Which is called they're NID. That's what they're called. And part of the cheap thrill of it is oh yeah. Part of the cheap thrill of it is depending on Kitty's hurt box being huge. Oh, you play this as easier as Dixie. Yeah, okay. So here's one of the examples that I'm going to say is actually not too bad, but people do. You can see right there it says LR. It's trying to get you to hit the left and the right shoulder buttons, the L and the R button, but a lot of people apparently didn't pay attention, and I'm not going to say everybody didn't, but one of the playthroughs that I watched that was really confused at that part was AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd, or James Rolfe, and Mike Matei. They could not for the life of them figure it out, and right there in bananas it spells Y, and I can actually use the Y button to suction barrels to me, and it requires you to do it. So I think it does it's not as subtle as maybe a Mega Man X might be, but it is. I think it's just as instructional as it needs to be. Oh, this is for the DK guy. I don't care. I guess I need to care a little bit for that one. Again, the DK coins don't matter all that much, just because they are for. They are for. I'll just jump over. They're forgetting the gyrocopter true ending, and that's not necessary to passing the game. You don't actually. There's a lot of content you can actually skip and pass this game. And my guess is going to be most people have, because they did make some of the content. I don't know why I'm getting so much frame drop there. That's not in the software. That's in the game. I know that there are a couple of levels that cause drag, a lot of lag on the screen. So. Nice extra life there. This one, I think, hits object limits, and there we are. And then I think the other one that does really badly is Tracker Barrel. No, not Tracker Barrel Track. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, we'll see it in Cotton Top Cove. There's a lot of barrels that are floating down. And you bounce all the way. Son of a gun. Okay, that's fine. His legs will automatically just pop the barrel that you're holding if you touch him. If you jump on his legs, you automatically bounce. Only his back, you can only be stable on his back. I think the speedrunner people have a way to like just throw Dixie up there, miss all the poison, the venom, and change to Kitty for this last one. You can use Dixie as well. Dixie, you can go to Dixie in the left-hand corner over there, and the ball won't hit it. But if you're Kitty, he holds the barrel to he holds the barrel to his side anyway. So the venom ball doesn't really have a great chance of popping the barrel. It still can technically, but I don't believe it does. It's harder to hit Eric on the chin though. Only slightly. Oop. That's his name, Eric, and then the little one's the Nid, so to make Arachnid. Do their thing. Whose is this one? Blunder's Booth. I gotta remember. Okay. Nope. Goodness. I think it's that one over there. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. We'll see. So we got our 2 worlds down. Next boat. Hurry up, Funky. You can't skip the text. You can't. This animation he has to do, as far as I know. Could be wrong, but I think he has to do it. And now we get the hovercraft. I also like the overworld of this, really nice. The hovercraft can actually bounce over. It's got a little bumpy thing, so it can bounce over the rocks, and that lets us get to the next areas. That's what? Yep, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so I think it's this one. The cave there. And let's see. I'm not real good at these Simon segments. I don't know if that was the right one. Hold on. Wait a minute. I don't know if that was the right one. We'll see. If it wasn't, then it's not that big of a deal, but I'll go ahead and open this up too. So you just counterclockwise a couple of times. There's 1. They did make it kind of close. There's 2. Goodness. I think it's 4 times. Maybe it's 3. 3. 4. I guess it's. It looked like 4.5 or 5. So maybe I was just wrong. This is the hidden world, or the lost world in there. That's Krematoa. I'm gonna go and see Boomer real quick to see if I have all the bonus coins. I don't think I do. Yeah, I know what you do. I know what you do. Yep, no, I don't. So it was the wrong one. I don't want to go do a lot of the caves because the more caves you do, the harder they get. And that was the intention, is you would try to find all the caves, and it didn't matter which one you did. It would be, the first cave you found would be easy. And they have it scale up, so it has a counter that says, oh, he's done 5 caves, it should be 5 hard. Which is really, really cool. But I want it to stay super easy for what I'm going to do. I think I need the jet ski to do what I'm going to do anyway. You gotta be a little careful with these. They look like cheese puffs almost. But you gotta be careful because it's really kind of it can be tricky to figure out when it's left the foreground, and when it's entering the foreground, and sometimes you end up getting hit with something that you're like, oh, that's technically still in the background, but it wasn't. You also notice it's not too terribly difficult to rack up a bunch of lives if you're somewhat familiar with what you're doing. A couple of bananas. Same things, Mario rules, right? 100 bananas equals an extra life, all that good stuff. Okay. And be careful because there's lava under here. Yeah, that's alright. This is the way we want to go. The other way is the bonus. Why there's no... You can't be Squitter. Squitter's a spider's name you get to be. He's also, in my opinion, the best animal friend that the Kongs have. He can build his own platforms. He can walk on dangerous things because he's got tennis shoes. There's a bonus barrel up there. He can fire webs that take out enemies. I mean, he can do a lot of stuff. DK coins up there. We're not going to mess with it. I also like that you can... Some of this is pattern-based, but then the other parts of it you can just roll. And then they have you go back through. And this is the background-foreground element, but this time it's with lava and with ropes. And that actually does come in handy later on in the game. This one's every other one does it, so you just kind of have to jump in a zigzag. There we go. I think Mechanos is probably my favorite. This is the Mechanos Cards channel, which is not defunct. It's just on hiatus. I've got so many things going on right now. But is the this one's gonna? I may die a time or two on this one. I'm gonna try not to. There's a really pixely specific jump in this course that's difficult for me to get down. It always has been. These little alternative pipe vents. It'll start introducing those in tandem with holes. And you have to jump right at the last possible square of one of those pipe vents and miss the other one, or otherwise you crash. So there's a hole. Here's another hole. Here's another hole. And then we're going to start having pipe. Hole, pipe, I think is what the configuration is. Go. So it's pipe, hole, then pipe, hole, pipe. That's one I'm not particularly good at. This one here. Oh, I jumped too early. Best game for 100% completion probably in the whole world. It is, Celestial. Also, welcome in. It is. I do this. I passed this, that was a little embarrassing, sadly, because I jumped too early. But I do this. I play this game through. I usually will do 103%. I tried to go for 105, but for some reason my code, I guess, didn't take with the toughest code. And so, anyway, it is one of my favorites. So I try to play it through. I try to play it through at least once a year. We'll see if we can hit the same jump. This is that jump that I'm just not great at. It's better to have two Kongs. The most optimized. It is. It's probably one of the most. And I may die. Like I said, I'm not a speedrunner by any stretch. This is something I'm doing for fun. Not really paying attention to the time on it, but I am going to try to go through it as quickly as I can. I don't have the same skill as someone like yourself or Thumb, who do, much more difficult games much more quickly than I can. But I do enjoy the game, and I do enjoy getting to play it through as like I said, once a year is ideal for me. But I have the same. I've had trouble with this jump for almost 30 years. There we go. And I'm not going to do the DK coins because I'm doing that. Love the DK coin. Yes, the coins. I like them. I absolutely despise their brother, sister, whatever, the coin dozers. I don't like them at all. Especially, coin dozer clamber is fine, but when you start doing the Krematoa levels with coin dozers, they get really frustrating. Also, that pixel jump in coin dozer clamber, which we will get to. It is a tiny window of ill-defined hitbox. Whoa. Yeah, so again, I don't necessarily have the same skill. That's why I did put the disclaimer. It's not a speed run. It is as far as I'm going to be running through it as quickly as I can, but it's not a speed run by the metric of any actual speedrunner, which is an actual timer going and all that good stuff. I'm skipping the bonus barrels, whoops, and the DK coins in this case, just because I have water on. And the DK coins are only necessary for 103, 104, 105, which I'm not really focused on. Whoa. Thumb like speed runs, I've only done 2. That's true, but the ones you've done are, again, in my opinion, far outclass of anything that I'm capable of, and with games that are far more difficult than I probably have really passed or played, even though I do prefer difficult games. So, he's much more a speedrunner, perhaps, in his outspokenness, but I would argue that you are every bit a speedrunner in practice. Unless it's a title that offends you, in which case, of course, I don't mean to, but that's just from my uninformed observation. This used to be one of my least favorite levels, and I actually like it quite a bit. It used to make me really stress out. There's a barrel under there, but I'm not gonna. I should have done it. Oh, shoot. I should have done it. I wasn't thinking. I should have done it. Yep, I do speedy casual runs of games. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those too. But again, I don't do a lot of those necessarily. That's kind of what this is, and I think this is probably the only game so far that I've done it with. There are a couple of other games. No, I've done it with Super Mario World. Kind of. It's one of those are some of a very few games that I feel like I could probably do them with. They're not deathless. They're not, it's just play the game and have fun and go as quickly as you can. Oh, I don't like Dixie's slowing me down like that. That was my fault. But they always try to get these sneaks in there to throw you off, and they do a really good job of it too. No, I'm not doing bonus barrels. Banjo-Kazooie is another one that I feel, like I said, I feel I could do something kind of speedy on. It's one that I've 100%ed several times, but it's not one that I'm perfect at. There we go. How are you guys, by the way? We are okay. We're doing really, really well. Or as well as I guess could be expected. I gotta get him out of the way, so. We are... Anna was doing a stream on her channel, and so I decided to do one on ours, and she was okay with that. I'm gonna go ahead and do Brinkley... I'm not doing a save. But we're doing okay. We've been incredibly, incredibly busy with all kinds of different... obviously the holidays, and my job has been having me travel quite a lot recently, and so it's been that, but it's been really good. I hope you're doing well. How have you been? You're great people. Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Banjo-Kazooie's on Switch Online. I know I don't have the big pass, but I do have an original cart, as well as the Xbox version, which has always worked out pretty well. But I understand that I'm gonna want to I would like to have it portably. It's like KOTOR. KOTOR is another game that, again, I don't think I could do. I don't think there's a way to go through that game quickly. But it's a game I feel like I can speak with some authority on. I did a 10-episode run on the channel already, and that's how long it took me. Each episode's about 2.5, 3 hours. Some of them are even 4 hours. The game takes forever. It's great though. I don't want to do the... There's a squitter barrel behind it. You don't actually need to blow him up to get the squitter barrel, but he has a glitch. Whoops. He has a glitched frame where when he's recoiling from the shot, you'll fall through him and you'll fall into the... I don't know why I wasn't paying attention there. He will, he'll recoil into the shot and you'll fall into the squitter barrel. Why is it TNT again? Oh, because I fell? Yep. Hold on. Yeah, let's leave that alone. What's better than the cart? Yeah, I bought it back in 2000. I gotta do it again. What's going on with this? Okay, there we go. I guess it's just... I kept thinking I was having to do it if you fall down, it resets the barrel. I get that, but there was times I wasn't even falling down. I wouldn't do that. That's not what I intended to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I blew up immediately as I was doing something that I didn't intend to do. There we are. Kitty's a bigger target, but that's okay. Yeah, I enjoy the I enjoy it. The GBA version of this. So I have the GBA version, but I have never played it. Or rather, I've not played it through. I've only played like maybe a level or two. I know it has another boss fight in it too, the Croctopus, which I would like to try. Again, I have it. I have the means to play it on stream. I might do that. Once you've played this one, it feels like the other one is just gonna be. It's so much more sluggish, obviously due to the limitations of the Game Boy versus the Super Nintendo. But you saw a review of it. That's I have it. There you are. I have it just because I'm a big fan of the game. But when I played it, it's obviously more sluggish than the Super Nintendo version, and because of that, you get really accustomed to the responsiveness of the Super Nintendo. There are a couple of levels in this that are incredibly stuttered. They changed the whole soundtrack of 3. Yeah, so this one was done by Elise or Elaine Fisher, something like that, and then and she did, I think, a great job. And then David Wise did the Evelyn. There you go. And then David Wise did the GBA one. I did beat 1 and 2 on GBA. I have those as well, but I've not passed them, or I don't think I've even played them on GBA. I just have them in the collection. I bought them as a set, I'm fairly certain, so I know I have them. I saw them when I was getting this all set up as I was reaching for some new cabling. They're in my game closet there. This is better. Yeah, I think so too. David Wise's soundtracks are amazing, but I would agree in this case that Evelyn Fisher's is more solid. I have heard the music of the Wise one. Tropical Freeze, though, he knocked out of the absolute ballpark. He absolutely knocked out of the ballpark. There we are. I can English decently well on occasion. I'm American, therefore it is a potential that I butcher it, but I try not to conform to the stereotype. This is better, more moody. Yeah, that's true. I do like that. One of my favorite tracks, some of my favorite tracks, in fact, are like the ones when you're in the waterfall levels. Sounds positive and cheery. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he really developed a... But comparing... I was say, I don't think he developed a sense of nuance to this one. I think this one was meant to be cheerier than the first two. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I feel like the original water world... The original aquatic ambience, rather. For the first... DKC, I think it was not only revolutionary because of how it stretched the technology, but it was also kind of... It was moodier. It was darker. It had a darker feel to it. Oh, that's right. I don't want this. I want the far end because I'm not doing the thing. Okay. I also really like, for no good reason, the Big Boss theme. I don't. It's not necessarily super special. Not the normal boss theme, but the. Here, all right, that's fine. Not the normal boss theme, but the one with when you're doing Baron K. Whoa. Only the buzzsaws have a hurt potential. They don't. The heads won't hurt you. You can actually float in between them, so not too big of a deal. No more parrot. I ended up with Dixie. That actually works okay because in Log G she actually is easier to control. Normally, I think Kitty's easier to control. I like his sense of flow better, but she can do the hairpin stuff. Baron K. Rulenstein, yep. GBA soundtrack wasn't that good to be. Yeah, that's true. Baron K. Rulenstein is also probably my favorite iteration of him, but it's because it's the most unique, I think. They kind of stuck with the pirate theme, and then this one they were like, nah, Mad Doctor. I did this. He keeps changing his name and identity, which I think is cool. I think it's cool that he kind of keeps it fresh. Bowser's, you know, the same. He's kind of the same repetitive son of a. Well, I'm not gonna. It's third rotation, or I don't get it, and I probably won't get there quick enough. Nope. In the first and the second one, though, he was kind of the same thing. I mean, he was a king, but it was all pirate themed. Either way, son of a gun. I have so much trouble with these. Being able to. Nope. Being able to stay on those knives. I felt like they all kind of had that same piratey theme, even though he was technically a king in one and a pirate in the other. It was like, oh, you were kind of a pirate in the first one too, though, because you are the main boss battle is on the in-game boat. There we are. Whereas with this one, it felt like something fresh. And again, I like all of the boss fights. One of the things I was saying on this, I like all the boss fights because they really changed the way that you look at a boss fight. It wasn't always just jump on their head. In fact, Chaos may be the only one where you actually just jump on the head. King of the Pirate. Exactly. He's a Luffy. I don't know a lot about One Piece. I know enough. I know that, but that's about it. There we are. Yeah, I don't know a lot about One Piece. That's a young person's anime. When I was around, it was all Ghost in the Shell and Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that. You used to watch. Nowadays, they've got 467 episodes of Bleach, which I watched for a lot. I actually watched that one until I got tired of it. It was Dragon Ball Z, too. We did our Dragon Ball Z. I think you'd have 5 or 6 episodes of getting ready to fight Frieza, and then you'd have half an episode of Frieza. Alright, there we are. Nice, Emperor. Thank you. I like to do voices on occasion. I'm not particularly good at them, but generally, but I do enjoy them. So. I hope also that when I get older that my voice does not do that. I don't. You should be a voice actor? I'd love to. I really have wanted to do that for a long time, but it's just such a hard. It's a hard job to get. I have actually tried. I have all of my own gear. I can travel. I can ISDN, and I probably could upgrade the ISDN equipment because ISDN is incredibly expensive. But it's just such a hard thing to break into, especially where I am in Texas. I would have to move. The closest one I'd be able to move to would be Funimation, and it would be for overdub for English dub, because that's a Texas-based studio. But if I wanted to get into any sort of diverse voice acting, it would have to be California. And while I can move, that's just not. I have an aversion to the sun. I can't have a lot of sunlight, and so California is, believe it or not, as sunny as, potentially even more sunny than Texas is. Texas is hotter by a long shot, but sometimes the hot days are cloud covered. Gets to be about 115. A nice hot Texas day, about 115 degrees Fahrenheit. It's in the near 50 degrees Celsius range, I believe. 49 degrees Celsius, maybe. I avoid it as well. Yeah, it's some people do it from preference, from all the different learning and the thinning of the ozone, and then some people, such as myself, have conditions which prevent us from being able to sustain long exposure to it. So I'm not against anybody who likes sunlight. In fact, Anna, my wife, is she loves sunshine and driving her car with the top down and all that kind of good stuff, sunroof open, all that good stuff. But it's just I can't do it. And she's very sweet, and she tolerates me asking her to close it if we're in there. Oftentimes I won't even have to ask her. She's just like, no, it's okay. I don't want you to get hurt. That's fine. It's so hot in Texas. Yeah, it is. It's blisteringly hot. There are a few places. Oh no, that's fine. There are a few places. Almost force of habit went to go get that. There are few places in the United States that are hotter than where we are in Texas. Some of those places are like Death Valley and Phoenix, and even still, it doesn't beat it by a huge margin. I think the hottest it's gotten in those areas is like 126, and I think the hottest it's gotten in Texas is like 123. So we're beat by literally 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I say it, but I feel like that it's almost like me reading a picture book. If you get to see her, you see it. There's no need for the words. The illustration's right there. I'm happy she feels deep concern for you. She is my polar opposite in the best possible way. She is very feeling and caring and has a great amount of emotion and emotional intelligence. I am much more logical and logic-orientated, and my ability to emote is, while genuine, substantially weaker. Part of that I attribute to probably... this will sound like a therapy session, so I'll cut it so it doesn't. I'll cut it short in what I mean. Is what I mean. She had a supportive family with her the entire time, and I think they had at least enough money to do some things that they wanted to or needed to do. Whereas we grew up with we didn't always have a place to stay or a meal to eat, and we didn't grow up with caring parents. We grew up with parents who broke up and they were, for whether it be intentional or not, were not really there, is what I mean to say. And so I think you develop a level of skepticism when that happens, and when you have that support, you want to emulate that support for other people. Nope. My ex would negate me if I complained about anything, and I would doubt if I confess any weakness about almost. That's awful. There's no. I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't a place for minimizing. There's never a place for minimizing feeling, but there are certain strategic places to minimize stress. Right? If Anna's really worried about something, that's the nature of reassurance, right? She's worried that everything's going to be bad and awful and terrible, then I can minimize, it won't be as bad as you think, and that's reassurance. But that's the only instance where I can see that being necessary. Sometimes she'll tell me, I feel like this, and even if that isn't the case, I want to make sure that I do things that make her feel like she's heard, so that I can make sure that I like to be a problem solver. I try to be. It doesn't mean I'm good at it, but I try to be a problem solver, and it makes me, if I listen to what the problem is, I might have a better, easier time fixing that, or helping to fix it. This is another one of the stages with frame drag. We'll get some here in a minute too, where there are too many clasps on screen. This is the one. When I jump, yep. But I am much more logic orientated. I'm not as emotionally intelligent as she is, and I don't care. I don't mean this in a rude way, but I don't care as much as she does. Is another one of those draggy areas. And I don't mean I don't care about anything as much as she does. I mean I don't have. She can literally. One of my favorite examples. I don't think she'll mind me telling this. Needed someone morally supportive. That's great. We should listen to each. Yeah. There is. There's definitely mutual trust. I don't know. feel that I am as deserving as she is of that trust, but she still affords it to me. One of the examples that I thought was really sweet is we were watching. This is a couple of years ago. And we were sitting together and we were watching the Super Bowl. She's a football fan, and I enjoy it as well. And so we were watching the Super Bowl for that year, and there was a Google, I believe it was a Google Home commercial, where the story being told by the actors was of a man who had lost his grandfather. I hate that. Sometimes there's just no... Well, there we go. At any rate, the man had lost his grandfather, and he was asking the Google Home to pull up a photo or photos or voice recordings. I can't remember what it was. Something like that. And the idea behind it was a really sweet idea for a commercial because it could be relatable. In my instance, the way that I see that is it's a commercial. It's an advertisement made intentionally to elicit emotion, or at least thought. And oh shoot, I didn't want to do that. Oh well. Ellie's slower and a much bigger target, but oh well. Ellie can jump on here. Ellie can shoot stuff, and Ellie can... Alright, there we go. Okay. But anyway, the way I view it is it's a company that's looking to do something that does elicit some thought or some emotion, and that is there we are. Just because. That is set up by two voice actors who obviously were talented, and they set the story, and then there's a composer, and it's a production just like any other would be. But this commercial, just this little commercial, doesn't actually show half the images. It just says that that's what's going on. It's just the voiceover. And boy, you better believe I looked over to her, and she was just, her tears in her eyes, just the sweetest of hearts. And I'm like, nobody actually, and I had to comfort her, and I don't need this. You only get one shot with that particular DK coin. Ellie's cute. Yeah, Ellie is. Squidder's my favorite, but Ellie is beneficial in that. Alright, Fish Food Frenzy, guys. But anyway, she's just... the way that I had viewed it, and the way that she had viewed it, so completely different. She just had tears in her eyes. She was just so... And it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch stuff with her because you can just see her feel for and immerse herself in that world, and it's really adorable. And she doesn't trade emotion for intelligence. That's another thing. She is super intelligent. It's just, whoa, he's gonna probably eat that lurchin, but oh well. She's incredibly intelligent, but she's just more emotive than I am. Okay. And this level, for anybody who sees this one, posterity. Whoa! This nibbler behind me is a friend. Kind of. But if it eats, it has 4 stages. Blue, purple, pink, and red. If it eats Coco, the little clownfish that we're eating, it goes up one of those 4 stages. If it eats a lurchin, these guys, it goes down one of those 4 stages. If it goes down to the red stage, it is inescapably going to take one of your Kongs. Once it takes a Kong, that will take it up 2 stages. So it'll go from red to... Whoops. Don't eat the lurchin. It will go from red to back to purple. Much easier to get it back to blue. Fish Food Frenzy is so unique. It is. It's really, really cool. It's... again, it was another one of those stages that when I was playing it back in the day, I was like, I don't care for this. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is actually a lot neater than I thought it was. goodness sake. It's one of those levels. I think whenever I hear stages that people don't like, Lightning Lookout hits the top. But I think this is on some lists, and while I can kind of understand why, once you have the mechanic, oh, I didn't mean to do that. It's not too bad. Also, not losing a Kong to Nibla, but if you lose a Kong regardless, when your Nibla is red, you will, there we are. You will, also go back to purple. It gives you a second Kong here because there's a DK coin on the left. I respect this game for the variety it adds through all the different gimmicks. I think the gimmicks make it really unique in a more positive than negative way, though. And I mean, I completely agree with you. I really like it, though. Okay, this is one of the boss fights that gets to be a little tedious. Gigantic snail in the waterfall. And for some reason, he's just always upset. I have no idea why he's upset, but he is. There is a position... son of a gun. You have to hit each of his eyes twice to finish one cycle. And each time the eyes are visible for less and less time. And the stream is more powerful and quicker and more rotations. So, one of those wait-and-see bosses, which is a little bit disappointing because I don't think anybody really likes a wait-and-see boss, but whatever. Which means that a total of 12 hits are necessary. There we go, that's a single cycle. That's incredibly hard to do, and I've only ever done it once or twice. That time included. Oh, one of the things I don't like about Ellie is he's too slippery. Okay, well, for me at least, he's too slippery. Especially here in this, where you're very precarious on those second... Come on. There we are. Boop. Much better than the DKC1 bosses. Yeah, and I'll speak more in detail. I'm working on a project, or I'll be working on a project in the near future, comparative analysis of those, where I'll be speaking more in depth about exactly what it is that I feel. Thank you. Where I'll be speaking more in depth about what I like and dislike about each of those, going into specific level and world details. This one, no spoiler there, I've said this for years, is my favorite. So, even though this is a much poorer performance than the last time I ran it, still fun. There's a performance on my channel called Gotta Go Fast where I did something similar to this. And in that one, I think it's this one over here I need. In that one, turn around. Up. Let's see if this is the right one. This is second, so it should be decently. Is that the one? No, it doesn't look to be. Gotta figure out which... I can't remember which one it is. Oh well. Hold on. This is Bazaar's general store, right? Blunder's booth. Never mind. Okay. I can't remember. It's alright. Won't worry too much about it. If I can't do it, then I can't do it, and that's okay. I'll take a look again. I'll visit Boomer again to check, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't the one either. Nope. Oh well. But yeah, anyway, I'll be doing one where I do a much more in-depth look. I'll be doing more of a comparative analysis and things like that. And try to kind of break down exactly what I do and don't like about each of the games, and strengths, weaknesses, all that good stuff. So this is where you start getting mixed gimmicks. You learned about the clasps. So now you're learning about a different version of the clasps where vertically you're moving above and below them and they're following your movements, where on the other one they were just going back and forth. Now they follow or they home in on you. And I think that's a really cool... Nope. Nope. I think that's a really cool gimmick. And they do some little ones like this where you're short rope, long rope. I think the design of this game is really, really nice in terms of making challenges that are fun and also dynamic. It's good to compare. It's something I feel like will be fun to do, and I've never really spoken in depth on why this is my favorite. I've spoken on things that have helped cement it as my favorite, perhaps, but I haven't spoken on why it's my favorite comparatively to the others. I know a lot of people... Why are you not grabbing onto that kitty? There we go. I was having issues grabbing onto the rope. I've never had that happen before. I think a lot of people really love 2. And so I'll in this particular project, I should get to speak on why I think why 2 isn't my favorite. It's kind of like the Super Mario's, or yeah. I'll go ahead and get a Cranky here. Or a Wrinkly, rather. And here's Thumb Bros. Hey, Thumb. How you doing? This one, I think so, too. Again, I won't speak too terribly much on it in comparison to the other ones. I'm looking to do a creative analysis project. So this is just me kind of playing through this one and having fun like I normally would, but eventually that will come out. Thumb is familiar, I believe. Oh. Those are always so difficult because hitting the tail of a Skidda is lethal. If you hit it at just an angle, at just a smidge of an angle, like that, it counts as a die. That's okay though. How are you doing, Thumb? Hope you're doing all right. This is, as you've just witnessed, not a deathless or any of that. It's kind of like what I did in the Gotta Go Fast, which you were here for. So that was actually just my fault. But this one is different. It's not really different. It's pretty well the same thing. It's just me playing through something that I enjoy playing through. Oh, that's the one that they always get you on. If you hit that knick-knack, then you have a 1 frame. I believe it's 1 frame. You have a 1 frame window. This isn't an indie or I'm can't do it unless it's 100%, 105% toughest difficulty, no death, blindfolded challenge. There we go. The that knick-knack right there, when you hit it, it minimizes your window for jumping over that cliff, over that hole. It minimizes that window down to 1 frame. And so if you don't get it on that 1 frame, you don't get it. And 9 times out of 10, I don't get it. So. Honestly, I think they could be... The knickknacks are honestly some of the most... When it comes... They are the most menacing. When it comes to the... whoops. There's going to be one where I have to bounce on a bunch of them. Here it is. The knickknacks, when it comes to the cart levels like this, the knickknacks are easily the most menace. We're not doing that. Boop. Oh my goodness sakes. I think this is probably my favorite world though. Oh, except for this level. This is a level that creates a bunch of lag. It's not a bad level, but it is a level that is very unreliable for a number of reasons. Firstly, the barrel hitbox is abysmal. It is very difficult to know. That's fine. No, I'm gonna... No. Revenge. Anyway, excuse me. The hitbox on it, or knowing where the collision article is on it, is really difficult. Knowing where the collision article on the sides of cliffs are also really difficult. That's the only box in all of DCK3. I don't know why. The next thing is the spawn. You never know when the barrels are going to spawn. Sometimes they just don't. And this particular segment right here is really atrocious. Because, like, if you do it with Dixie, it's not too bad. But with Kitty, it's really bad because this, and there'll be frame lag probably here when I start doing this. Because I'm going to float back over to barrel 1 and it's going to lag. There we are. You can't do that with Kitty, so if you have Kitty, you've got to do it the hard way. Yeah, with Kitty, it's ridiculous. You've just got to get it on that first jump. It is the worst. So this level's not, I mean, it's not that the level is bad design-wise. Apparently the parallel bird again. It's not that at all. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the damage on that. It's just all of those things, I think, that make it really difficult. There. The graphics from DKC 1 to 3. In 3, there's a more polished look with the levels. Good combination of gritty, cheery, and with colors. Yeah, I agree. And I did use the colors cheat, if you're curious as to why Dixie and Kitty are not wearing their original colors. It's because I wear the colors cheat because I use the colors cheat because my favorite color is purple. And Dixie is wearing purple because of the colors cheat. There's a handful of saves that make this a little bit nicer. I have 2 of them on. I was going to put, one of them's color. I didn't put the Merry sheet on, which is a Christmas themed one, but we're past that now in the new year. There's an autosave cheat, which is just called A Save. Purple Rain. Yeah, heck, that's a good song. There we are. Whoa! Didn't mean to do that. Crackshot Croc is an awesome level. Is it my favorite level? Nope, but it's a really cool concept for being the antagonist of a first-person shooter. I don't like how that first web just coiled up. You're supposed to be able to have 2 webs at any given time, and I didn't hit the kill button on that one. There we are. Squidward, while he's my favorite of the friendlies, he's also probably one of the more ridiculous targets. The toe of his tennis shoe can legitimately count as a hit. And it's really, really awful. But he can walk on dangerous surfaces, make his own surfaces, and shoot things. So, why not? No, you can also steer the webs as you go. Like, you can make them point up. Platforms you can point down. You feel like you have a pretty good amount of control with him. So you don't have to just go straight across. And same thing with the aiming of the shooting. I can shoot up or I can shoot down. It's not super controlled, but it feels like it's got some flow to it. I also think he's the most adorable, but I like spiders. Speaking of spiders, again, I'll make this mention. I don't know if she's done with it. I don't think she is. Anna isn't with me today. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Anna isn't with me today because, whoops, she is streaming on her Siren Ivy channel because she is on a deadline where she is creating a Sims world or Sims map for a really awesome project, and she's trying to get it selected and viewed by someone, so it's very competitive. But I think her idea is probably the most intricate and one of the coolest. I do have a link to her channel if if this kind of stuff isn't your speed, you're more that. She's making some really cool stuff. She's making a H.H. Holmes, a replication of H.H. Holmes's Murder Hotel. That was a thing falling off of my wall. So I apologize. It shouldn't be super loud. It's not really close to the microphone, but... There. I don't know how that thing fell, but it did. Wait a minute, where did I hear that Kong barrel from? Oh. I was behind it, but I guess just because I didn't do a thing, I didn't get it. But yeah, she's building... She is building the, she's building that, she's building a replica of that. So, if you are interested in that, her link is also in my description down below, and it will take you straight to her channel. And you can see her build a very intricate, she showed me that she actually got the floor plans, and she's building according to the floor plan, which is really impressive to me. So, and she has face cams, so you can see all of the funny. I think I don't know if she's got all of the, and I don't know if she's got animal cam up. I don't think she does right now, but all of the puppies and stuff in there too. I can hear her. I can hear she's still alive. Her stream room, just so you know, her stream room and my studio are right next door, so I can hear her straight through they're right next door to each other, so I can hear her straight through the thing. Limguins. Unintentional. They'll also cause lag. Object limit. It's not. I don't think the frame drag is awful, but it's there. So. I don't. What the heck happened there? That, I don't need to worry about that. I was gonna go, see, there's the object limit. There's 2 limguins right there. The pattern broke because of the amount of slowdown that happened. It is perfect. There we are. And the snow starts to get heavy when you get there. Nice. This is what I think, this is probably my favorite boss fight in the whole thing. It's just because of how unique it is. It has nothing to do with whether it's a good boss fight or not. It has to do with the fact that it is incredibly unique. And for whatever reason, I wasn't hitting the correct button. Bleak. Named for a poem. I'm fairly certain. A short story, at least. I say a poem, but I think it was a short story. But I think he's my favorite, I think he's my favorite fight of this whole thing because of how unique he is. This boss fight is kind of creepy. Yeah, he definitely works to make you feel more unsettled than the other bosses do. Okay, now I just have to hit him quickly. There we are. And then he'll do this. It's because of the unsettling. I'm fairly certain he's named after a short story of some sort. I can't remember exactly. But I'm fairly certain that that's what it is. Why did that not count? Take that medal from him. Yeah, I did always want the. I didn't pay enough attention. I always did want to take that, but you don't get it as a trophy, sadly. You get a bonus coin. I hate that the window is so ridiculously small there. Whoa. There we go. This is where you start getting bonus coins from all the bosses instead. You do have to have all of the bonus coins all of the time. Yeah, that's true. You do have to have all the bonus coins to do the true ending of this game. So there's that. Thank you. Thank you for the GG, Celestial. Okay. Now we're starting to get to some of the levels that I'm a little less keen on. Razor Ridge probably has my least favorite levels in it overall. And this iteration of Squawks, the purple one, despite the fact that I like his color better, is also my least favorite iteration of the character, because the only thing he can do is carry a barrel, unlike the green one who coughs out eggs, or what look like lemons. This one has no such defense. Oh, I didn't want that. Dang it. No, I'm just gonna... It's an easy one, but I that's not what we're doing. There we go. Yeah, this not that this is bad, and I get that again, this is part of the trying something new, but this is one of the more tedious levels for no good reasons. I don't mind copters. They don't bother me very... Oh yeah, well, I don't mind copters. You can actually get by that bee without getting hurt, but I just didn't do it. I wasn't skilled enough. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna move my microphone. I'm not gonna blame that on the microphone, that was my fault, but I'm dodging back and forth between this and chat, and because I'm doing that, I realize my microphone's really close, to making me have to strain to look at chat. My microphone has I have a couple of live action streams for people who haven't seen them, who are interested in the tech and stuff I use. I've done a couple of those. Eventually, I'll make a video series where I break down everything that I do and step for step how I do it, just because I have actually had that request before. I don't know why. It's very flattering. All of the tech that I use, if it's not hardware, it's... nope, I'm gonna make the same mistake. All of the software that I use is free. All the music that I use is free, and copyright free. And all of the hardware is really my only cost, or was only my only cost. I started building this channel 7 years ago in April. I don't know. Something. I think it's 7 years in April. 2016 is when I started recording. 2017 is when I first uploaded. So I don't know. It's been a while, but anyway, I will. If that's something that people remain interested in, I'll build it up. But point being is, if you haven't seen my live streams, my streams where I did my tech streams, rather. You can just go up here like this. The tech streams would show you. This is what I was trying to say. You can get past the bees with. You can just do it like that. What? I don't know why you just grabbed it again. I don't know why I'm up here anyway, honestly. It's just... There we go. I have these giant eyeball things on top of my microphones to help kind of eliminate room noise and hiss and all that. And they are really big. They're about the size of a human head. An adult human head. So they're definitely... They're worth it for a better quality of sound, but they're not worth it for the... You do if you're doing the thing I'm doing, and it makes it can be a little bit of a visual impairment. There we go. Which is something I wanted. I actually wanted the audio is the first thing I focus on. For anybody who's unfamiliar, I like microphones for no real reason. So. But the way my chat's set up is I have a monitor on a small desk in front of me, and that my microphones are on stands, and those stands hover about nose level, and so the eye of it was blocking the chat, and then I'm looking back and forth. So again, doesn't excuse the game thing. That was just my fault, but it was a thing I noticed while I was making corrections. Let's see. Oh, that was really just not at all what I wanted. These red buzzes can really? Really? I did that? Nice. Those red buzzes can literally be the bane of your existence. There's also a bonus right there. You jump on that, you bounce on that copter's head. And there's a bonus barrel up there, and nobody would think to do that, because you think the whole time you're trained to think, oh, I need to avoid the copters, they'll hurt me. But no, that one you jump on the head and you bounce. I mean, all of them you jump on the head and you'll bounce, as long as you don't hit the wings. But that one you have to do that, and there's a bonus barrel up there. I don't know what kind of a shout out to give to Wrinkly, but for whatever reason, in the next game, which is Donkey Kong 64, she's just flat dead. A lot of sad, because she's the sweetest Kong in all of these. I love how he folds his hands like, okay. Kong Fuse Cliffs. It's a rope on fire. I think it's really cool too. This technically isn't this. This is technically the same gimmick used in Ripsaw Rage. There we go. But done with even more constricting. You're now vertically constricted to a single direction. And this is a level that almost ensures a death the very first time you play it, because you won't necessarily have the pattern memorized, or you may not be quick enough to switch the pattern mid-flight. So copters come down, but you also have there'll be a point later on where the copters will start coming at you at an angle, and you have to kind of use this very specific amount of rope to make sure you're not, you don't get killed. Dixie's better for this particular one anyway. I was trying to switch, but you can't switch Kongs while on a rope. She's a smaller target, though. They did a good job of making sure that she had this level. It's so tight. It is. They did a good job of making sure that Dixie is more responsive than Kitty, without making Kitty feel sluggish, which I think is really cool. Because if you probably noticed, 9 times out of 10, I'll actually use Kitty. He's got a good sense of flow. But they did a good job of making Dixie feel more responsive than Kitty, and at the same time, Kitty doesn't feel slow. He feels still responsive. Which is why there's been an argument that Kitty is the worst Kong out of the 6 that you get to play as, or you don't get to play as 6. You get 5 you get to play as. Technically, you get to play as 1. 4 you get to play as, technically, because you play as a couple of them a couple of times. The bananas, you're supposed to jump out there. It leads to a bonus. Here's where we start getting angular flight patterns. You get to play as Diddy in 1 and 2, you get to play as Dixie in 2 and 3, and you get to play as... Dang it. You don't play as Dang It. You get to play as... you only get to play as Kitty and Donkey in their respective titles, 1 and 3. So, you get to play as 4 Kongs over the course of it. Anyway, point being, a lot of people have argued that Kitty is the worst Kong. And I completely disagree. Kitty is really good. Okay, so Floodlit Fish, if I can do this, the gimmick to it is there are these guys. These are called Gleeman Breams. That's their actual official name. And they light the level up. Back in the day, on an old CRT, this level would be so dark you couldn't play it unless you poked the gleaming beams. With very well backlit LCDs, LEDs, plasmas, this level never gets too dark, or never gets dark enough. I'm sure even in your in the capture that I have, this level actually never gets too dark to navigate. So, and I'm only capturing this in 1080. I will be, hopefully, if everything goes well, I'll be making the transition to 4K broadcasting within the next stream or two. I have the software for it already, or the hardware for it already. It's just resizing all of my stuff to... It's alright. It's just resizing all of my stuff to fit the 4K size. Scheme. I think my my overlays may not handle it gracefully either. I got to be careful about that. I don't want my overlays to look really ugly because they're being stretched to 4 times their native aspect ratio. So my hope is that doesn't happen. I'll do some testing. But I do have a couple of games that I've played on the channel already that are in 4K and that would probably look better if I played them in 4K. And the capture card that I'm using is and does support 4K. So, side note too, if you're ever looking to do a capture card, I highly recommend. Oh yeah, that's right. Go this way. If you're ever looking to do a capture card, I highly recommend getting ones that go into the PC because my goodness, I've had far fewer. Despite my issues today, I've had far fewer problems with an integrated one versus the external ones. I had issues every other week with the external ones. This is so much better. Okay, the only frame that they are invulnerable on is, son of a gun, is the only frame that they're invulnerable on is the one where they are completely closed, which is a single frame, if I'm not mistaken. Again, that doesn't mean they don't get in the way. I knew they were coming. I was trying to get them to spawn and go up without hitting me, but I failed. There we are. Okay. At some point in time, speaking of channel origins and all that, the first video I ever uploaded was, and it's a very poor video because all of the equipment I had was not very good, but all the time for that kind of recording also wasn't ideal. Was Spy Hunter, and I was using an old Hauppauge and an old. I didn't know anything about audio, so I'm using this old. It was like I was using these snowball mics, but which they're not bad mics to be honest with you. I mean, there are better options out there, but at the same time, if you have it, that's a great mic. And I was using 2 computers that I had, 2 cheap old, ridiculously old computers that I had for a long time, and I was recording audio through the 2 snowball mics on 2 separate computers, and then trying to sync them up. And I couldn't sync them up because I didn't know the difference between 48 kilohertz and 44.1. Anyway, point being is those are not particular. I mean, they're funny videos. At least they were funny to me, and my brother who is on them, my little brother, who's on them as well. But my goodness, those videos, hopefully the quality is. By the way, I'm not doing that. It automatically. One of the major flaws of On Guard is he will automatically stab anything but a lurchin. He'll automatically thrust and stab so long as he's facing them. No provocation. Ooh, oh, that's fine. Pothole pan. Oh, shoot. Oh, this one's not what I thought it was. Never mind. We're fine. These are Kachunkas. They get to be frustrating. They also cause frame lag. They also cause frame drop and lag because of the bombs. Copters are indestructible, by the way. You can't kill them. They're not indestructible. They're kind of like Cuff and Clout. You have to be. There's a very special circumstance necessary to kill them. Cuff and Clout you can kill with a spider. You can kill with Squitter, or you can kill with super powered, the super barrel, and you get both of those. Get on guard. Get on guard, I guess. There we go. There's one little area, one little like pixel in between where you can hit two Coco if they're close enough together. That was the frame I hit, thankfully. Both of those only have one. It's also fun that they just float off the screen. I like that. I think they're kind of adorable. I don't think that like it's one of those ones where it's like I don't think they try to hurt you. I think that they just don't want you to mess with their stuff, and then it's like no, and then you do. They're adorable though. Okay. Again, they're only vulnerable when they are all the way close. The slow ones can actually be more difficult because they are actually close for 2 frames, I believe. And that's when they're invulnerable. So they're actually the slow ones are actually invulnerable for twice the amount of time. Cut me off. As the normal ones. There we are. There's also a bonus barrel up by one of those Kachunkas that you get as Squitter. So why am I getting why do I know about the bonuses and I'm not getting them? And the answer is because of the water cheat that I have in, which I may not use. But again, if you use the water cheat, you end up getting all of the DK coins on a single... I see you can't kill them with spiderwebs either. They may actually be the only truly invulnerable enemy of the game. If I'm being fair. Because I'm trying to think of... So this is the Kachunka that you can actually... There's a bonus barrel up there of. I'm not doing the bonuses, but water, there's a single banana bird cave where it will give you all of the bonus barrels. Or the bonus coins, rather. So if you still want to go through and play Krematoa, you can actually do it without having to do all the hunting. There we are. Oh! Wasn't paying attention. Okay, there's take that TNT barrel, you fall all the way to the right without getting hit by a bee. Not very difficult because their spawn points are all ideal. They designed it well. And you will find a bonus. That, however, was just my fault. There are a lot of really good... There are a couple of bonuses that... Oops. There are a couple of bonuses that they hid that I'm sitting there going, well, I don't know I would have thought of that. That's kind of among them, but they did a really good job in making sure that despite the fact that that's a very well hidden bonus, it's not an unattainable one. It's one that does get you to think outside of the box. There's another bonus in this level where you have 3 of these green buzzes, and you actually have to drop from the rope, and it is a leap of faith. That's the one where I get a little bit more like, that I wouldn't have thought of that. Which I think is a little bit disappointing. Depending on, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't want to accidentally get it, but this right here. So you're actually meant to, Dixie's a little bit better on this one. You're actually meant to just fall down right here. down between them. This one right here. Right here, there's a bonus barrel below me. I don't think I would have thought of that. My whole thing I'm thinking about is I need to stay on the rope, right? That's the whole thing you think about is you got to stay on the rope. The whole level is about staying on the rope and ascending, and then right there, for no good reason, you drop and you get the bonus barrel. So those it's demarcated by 3 green bees as opposed to a red one, but it's also not something that I think most people would do the first or even second or third time. It's not something I think they would know. I forgot he turns into a bonus barrel. And it's very difficult to dodge that bonus barrel. And if you don't get the it's a fairly easy bonus to do, but if you don't get it, you don't get a second chance. So it's one of those. There are a couple. That's another frustration I have. There are a couple of bonus barrels that you get one chance and one chance only, and if you don't do it, that's it. You gotta go back and do the level again. It's a little disappointing. This is Barbas. She used to be my. I say she. I don't know if it's a she. It may be a he. But she kind of has a lipstick on, so I assumed it may be a she. I don't know. Go a little lower. She used to be my absolute favorite and also least favorite to fight. That was the worst possible time. There we go. Because of the third phase, I couldn't figure out how to get past the needles. But I found out that you can just kind of wiggle around against the wall and pass it. There's little squids. This is also a little bit difficult to... I think that technically. Let's see. Yep. And that's... That didn't count though, and that was dead on. Uh-oh. This is probably the worst performance I've ever had on these, on this particular... I'm not in the zone today. That's okay. Still having fun, though. I hope you guys are, too. There's one. That one won't make it, no matter what. Why did I always do that. That's alright. I don't always do that. I've been doing that this time. The tier list is at stake. Yeah. This is my... I don't want to ruin anything. I'm saying what it was versus what it is. Because I would absolutely make a tier list on boss battles. This was probably one of my least favorites back in the 90s. Because I bought this game in 96. This was probably one of my least favorites then. I don't know that I would argue that this is a low tier or a bad boss now. That's too high. It seemed to work anyway. I absolutely would love to do a tier list on the bosses, though, of all of the games. So in this case, I used to hate this, but then I found out you can kind of just wiggle around a little bit on this wall, and you don't have to worry all that much. There's still instances where you can get hit, no doubt. I've done it. I've found those instances, but they're not as frequent as they used to be when I was playing this, 20 years ago. Or almost 30 years ago now. Can you believe that? 2023. I was playing this in 96. So that's what, 27 years ago? There we go. Also, you can accidentally go back up there, get brushed by a barb, and die. Even after the even after the bonus. First time playing, you generally have an offensive mindset, but this boss fight and the others, the strategy is to let them make the first moves. That's true. That's very true. And that's another thing that was really nice about it is some of these... Thank you for the GGs. I appreciate it. Some of these levels did make you adopt a defensive mindset. Okay. This has the pixeliest jump in this whole game. So there is a potential that I will, if I have to do this kitty, it's incredibly difficult. Let's see. 1996, very nostalgic year, a bit of a watershed year in terms of games and life. I'm not sure, when you say watershed, I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Games-wise, I don't remember, I was enthusiastic about games, but I wasn't as enthusiastic because the choices of games weren't as frequent. Originally what I had bought is the first Donkey Kong Country. And then the problem was that for whatever reason, I kept getting this blue screen error of that Donkey Kong Country. And I have no idea why. Couldn't get it fixed. Traded it in for Turning Point or Change. Oh, maybe so. Yeah, that's a good point. I've never heard that before. I'm sure it's accurate. I just haven't. Wasn't familiar with it. Anyway, I'd gotten DKC 1, point being, and I kept getting this like weird blue screen SNES error. Couldn't get it to play. Couldn't figure out what was going on. And so ended up going back and exchanging it for the third one because I was way behind at that point. I was collecting games for Atari still at that point. I started out with a Pong system and Atari. And my games were, I was playing Pitfall, I was playing Asteroids, I was playing a lot of those. A lot of those games. I still have my Atari. And I want to play Pitfall one of these days on the channel just for a moment. If I can get the capture to do it, which I'm sure I can, but... And anyway, it was so we ended up trading and getting this one, and then played the first one a year or two later. Okay, this is a level that I would argue... this is a level that I would argue that its innovation can be as frustrating as it is good. For a number of reasons. There we are. This is that's the loot box. These ghost barrels are the loot box of this game. You gotta jump, you gotta play if you want to get going. But you can get the same thing. You can get the same thing twice, and it can be the same worthless thing. And there's actually only in some cases there's actually only a small chance you're gonna get what you want. Not all of them have patterns. I wonder what a 2D Mario game would have looked like on the N64. I don't know. That's a good question. Honestly, one of the points that I think is, and it's a really good point, I don't think I'm breaking new ground to make it, is that had they stayed with 3D over 2D. There we are. Had they stayed with 3D over 2D, like they did, obviously we end up with the progressions that we ended up with like this. Had they stayed with 2D over 3D, I think that we would have had a better chance of higher quality games coming out for longer in that frame. But we may have sacrificed technological advancement. A good example of, I think, my point would be the Castlevania games. Castlevania 64, or more specifically Legacy of Darkness, is not a bad game, in my opinion. Well, that was okay. I don't think Castlevania 64, Castlevania 64 isn't great. Castlevania Legacy of Darkness I don't think is a particularly bad game. But I do think that Symphony of the Night is an infinitely better game. This is the most frustrating DK coin to get. So I'm gonna... There. There we are. I think the N64 would have been better if it had both 2D and 3D games like Mario 64 was needed, but more 2D games would have benefited by an improved hardware, no? Or 2, excuse me. Yes, I agree. Just real quick so I can get them out of my way if I have to end up coming back. There. Oh, I forgot the rocks don't disappear on that one. Never mind. Okay, Lightning Lookout. Most people's least favorite level. Not quite mine. You can use enemies as shields, and as Dixie, you can use barrels as shields. It can be a frustrating level, and I'm not going to argue and say that it shouldn't be on anyone's most hated list. It just doesn't happen to be on mine. It can absolutely be one of the more frustrating levels. I'm not going to do it. Dang it. That's okay. Kitty's a little trickier. Yeah, Kitty's a little bit trickier. And of course, if you're in the water at any point in time and the lightning hits the water, you get it too. We glitched the lightning out on that one, so. I may be a little quieter on this one though, because it does require some focus. The thing about it is that the lightning is, I don't want to say rubber banded, but kind of. Oh well, thanks, lightning. That was funny. The lightning is kind of rubber banded to you in an unusual way. If you stand still, the lightning will absolutely. I'm gonna grab a barrel anyway. If you stand still, the lightning will absolutely get you. But it's really good. The thing that makes it as frustrating as it can be is the fact that the lightning's actually pretty darn good at predicting where you're going to be. And so ideally, rocking back and forth will make that less likely to cause you issue. There we go. I'm gonna use the lightning to, and I also like being able to use the lightning to take out enemies. I think that's really cool. So again, forgive me for just a bit if I'm not quite as responsive, just because it does require a little bit more focus, especially when getting to water areas where the entire floor is effectively electrified. Anywhere inside the water and anywhere on top of the water is a no-go. But it's real good for knocking out knickknacks. Okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of this, I guess. Okay. I don't believe the bonus barrel blocked. That's fine. It's fine. Woo. That's okay. Part of it is also having these. Dang it. Just damage boost. The barrel trick doesn't work with Kitty because Kitty doesn't. He carries the barrel in front of him. There we go. It's kind of interesting how certain people shrug Super Mario World off as not that revolutionary, but it's Mario and a platformer. How much revolution do you want? That's true. For its time, it was remarkably revolutionary. I thought Mario World, while not the same jump as going from 1 to 3, I did think Mario would have some great concepts. Yeah. Mario World has the star and special worlds. Exactly. There was a lot more secrets to it. The overworld was a lot more dynamic. They kind of expanded upon the ideas that they had in 3. 2 to me is one of the better, not classic 2 even. I really like just 2 American, right? 2 USA. I think it's really fun. Alternate exits and hidden door locks. Yeah, and you get you can literally get a 96 as your total, which is really cool. That's the number of exits you have. Let's see where we are. Okay. So this level has the pixely jump that I was thinking of. This is Coin Dozer Clamber. It is it's the level next to the level before the last boss. And it does have the pixely. I like the level a lot, but it has the pixeliest jump in the entire game. And if you're off, then it these guys knock you straight off. If you come at it at an angle, you're done. Boop. I'm going to try not to do that. It's like this right here, except for they're elevated one higher than the next. 3 times. Right here. Okay. That's a little bit better. Doesn't mean I can't die still, but that was my biggest concern. There we are. Hopefully the next time I try to do something like this, I won't do as awful as I've done this time. Whoa. Uh-oh. There we are. I'll have to get him to scoot back. This one's a little easier because you have a little space to get him to run up for you. There we are. Let's see. These castles, fortresses, multiple variants. Technically, Mario was the last old-style 2D Mario on the console. Same for A Link to the Past. Dragon Coin, collectibles, moons. If you don't include Yoshi's Island. I do not include Yoshi's Island. Yeah, Yoshi's Island does feel radically different, and I have people that argue superior. I argue the opposite, though. I feel like Yoshi's Island is a great game that is not on par with Super Mario World. It does not feel near as responsive to me. I want to see an old-style 2D Mario and Zelda again on console. Me too. I would love to see that. But the problem with it is when they do that kind of thing, one of the arguments that's been made, again, I'm not breaking new ground here. Oh, by the way, if you've not played, I think you guys have played this, but for posterity, for anyone who hasn't played this, you may be wondering what the gimmick of this level is, and the gimmick is that my controls, while I'm immersed in the purple stuff, are reversed. My left and right are reversed. My up and down don't really make a difference, because they're all controlled by the B button. It can be tricky. It's not that bad. Yeah, I hate this level. Yeah, it can be a mindset. I think it's probably trickier if you're younger. My daughter had issues with this when she was playing it when she was younger. She would have issues. No, I can't. I don't ever remember. And I'm like, I know. And of course, now she's great at everything. That's what happens when kids grow up. Whoa. Actually, I don't. It's just annoying at first. No, that's fair. And it's fair to hate it if it's something you don't like. It's definitely easier for some people to switch things than it is for others. This is a thing that I feel like Anna, who I feel like is really good at games. I feel like she might have some difficulty with this one, just because it messes with your sense of direction well enough. I think it doesn't bother me. I don't know why Oh, I do know what I'm doing. I knew what I was doing and I executed it too late, but it doesn't matter. Ah, well, that's what I get for being kitty right there. Okay. And it still could be annoying for sure. This is one of the few levels that I feel like is, if somebody blames the controller or the controls, I wouldn't look at them and say, oh yeah, well, you don't have any right. No, I'd be like, no, I get you, I got you. There we are. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think a lot of them try to do the the first person or the old style Marios and Zeldas. I think that's what Super Mario 3D Land was, and Super Mario Wii and all that. They're old style. They are old style technically 2D, but they are done in a 3D thing, and I think that it's too much of the same. I specifically think... I turn it down, otherwise it's going to echo. Turning my headphones up and down. I specifically think that it would be really difficult to recapture unless they went back to the Super Mario World formula and engine and all that kind of stuff. That made it look that way. I wouldn't go back to that engine, obviously. We've got superior forms of emulating that engine. Okay. I'll get another DK here in a second, so it won't make a difference. I never remember this part of the fight, I'm not gonna lie. This is actually one of the levels where if you take a peek at the original... So originally when I passed it was 5... There we are. Originally when I passed it, it was 5 episodes, when I pre-recorded everything and then put it out, edited. And this is one of the few titles that I used I think it may have been 6 episodes, it was 5 or 6, where I did like voice changing so I could voice act the thing. I pitch shifted myself reading this to give Baron K. Rulenstein a unique voice, which I thought was fun. I thought it was pretty fun. I did the same thing with Darth Vader in Star Wars, the 2nd episode of the first game. I was already ready for the electricity, but I forgot it's not. It's not coming. Yet. That's not gonna... Boop. That ain't gonna do it. One of the other things I thought was really frustrating. I mean, I love the fact that he's got his little propeller, but I thought it would be fun if the little propeller were the vulnerable part, but it's not. It's the pack. There we go. I also like this the look of this map. Kind of like Edward Scissorhands. Are you talking about something in this, or are you talking about being annoying at first? Oh, okay. And uh-oh. I'm not gonna make it. Yep. I missed the handle. So I gotta do the... It won't start me from the chaos part, though. It'll just start me from him. Yeah, oh yeah, I know, I agree. I like both of them, honestly. I think it's a really cool look. I also like how tiny his little feet are, just hanging out there. It's like, what was even the point of the jetpack if you're... What was even the point of the jetpack if you're hovering literally 6 inches from the... And I'm sure that's part of the humor. But if you're hovering literally 6 inches from the floor, well, what was the point of the jetpack? There we are. What do you think of the second fight? The second fight's more difficult for me by a long shot because of the timing. And there are some instances where you can just blow it. You can just screw up the whole thing. And, for example, if you don't allow the... You have to be more strategic. Yeah, this is maybe one of the steps. No, yeah, there's a second boss fight on this one as well. There's a second boss fight on 2 also. 1 is the only one I believe that doesn't have a second boss fight. At least not that I'm aware of. Well, it does, technically. It has the pre-credit thing, but... Sound of a gun. I gotta be more careful with what I'm doing here. I gotta pay more attention to what I'm doing. Pull this off. Yeah, 2 is, 2 and 3 both had, secret boss fights. Secret boss worlds and all that. 1 didn't, as far as I know, except for the fake out, right? The credits roll and then you actually finish the first boss fight again. There. Yeah, this one has the Krematoa boss fight. Anyway, boss fight is much more difficult because of the timing of having to throw it into the distance. And then also, one of the things that they allowed you to... Really? They allowed you some strategic option with was the... They allowed you some strategic option with was the barrels and the electricity. You could set a metal barrel down to absorb electricity if you were, well... You could set a metal barrel down to absorb the electricity if you were well-versed enough. Which I actually do in my recorded playthrough. I still can't defeat the beaver in DKC1. Which one? I think there were 3, weren't there? There's naughty, very naughty, and extremely naughty. Maybe I'm wrong. Banana coins were also replaced with bear coins. That's true. And the Brothers Bear, I thought that was a cool system to add. Honestly, I thought that was kind of a neat system for them to have added. You have all these different bear brothers that interact. Extremely naughty. The first beaver on the first level. Oh. Something tells me that that's not accurate. Something tells me you can do that just fine. Something tells me you can probably run through that game better than I can run through this one, honestly. I don't necessarily know that for a fact, but I believe it. A little bit of wait and see on this part, which is can be a little frustrating. I like this boss fight though. I think as far as boss fights go, this one's not too terrible. I think I would argue that the second boss fight is actually whoa. I think I would argue that the second version of this boss fight's actually worse. Not necessarily that it's less fun, but that it is a lot. It adds more complications than are necessary. I think one more hit and that'll do it. Fairly certain, in fact. Technically, that's for either of us, though. I'm gonna go. That barrel's gonna pop. We'll just go ahead and do it on this side. And he'll just wait there until it comes and gets him. There it is. That's the minimum number of bonus coins you can get. Thank you. I died so many times. The very first time I did the run on here, which was during the, I think it was last year or year before even. I can't remember. The Gotta Go Fast run. I think the first time I died was in maybe like on Cotton Top Cove, or may even have been as far as Razor Ridge. I don't think it was. I think it was like Cotton Top Cove, so World 3-ish. There's Donkey Kong, yeah. Yep, and we get a photo album. Yeah, that's true too. I love it. You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? And he gives you the thumbs up, like, I defrauded the government. I wasn't honest on my taxes. I thought the voice of Cranky from the old cartoon, the 90s cartoon, I always thought they did a really good job with his voice. Although that cartoon was hot garbage. But I thought they did a good job with his voice, at least. Ronald Reagan? Well, I guess I could be if I needed to be. You know, Nancy tells me I can't play with clasps anymore for a reason or two. I thought it was interesting that they actually put Ronald Reagan in a Call of Duty game. I thought that was cool. Whether or not you like Ronald Reagan, it's just someone that is as recent as your lifespan is now in a Call of Duty game on that, so that's pretty fun. Well played. The game or the voice? Because I appreciate the compliment to the game, but I've played much better versions. I've done much better than that. But if it's with the voice, okay, thanks. Thank you either way. Both. Well, thank you. Pachunka. I love that's his job, and he just looks so... He just likes it. Kuchanka. And then Coin. They also messed up with this particular one's animation because his DK doesn't flip around like it does in the actual game. We didn't get to see Cuff and Clout. Though they are the big bads of a Krematoa level called Tyrant and Twin Tussle. They are all over the place. They are almost indestructible too, except for spiderwebs. Spiderwebs will kill them. Probably the most menacing little thing ever. Those knickknacks. I like their little rolly. I like their little rolly animation. I think that's adorable. There's little nids. Bunch of limguins. Never understood I never understood why. Like some of the names I get, you put a K on it, right? But I never understood like Minky. Okay, I get why this is called a Minky. He's a mean monkey. But I never understood why they would, like, Penguin Lemguin. I never understood that. It's like, you've changed 2 letters, congrats, but I don't understand the significance. I get most of the names, I understand, but... This is a swoopy. I still think the first DKC credit song is the best. Yeah, because it's the transition to the intense boss fight. So, which is really cool. This is a great song, though. This soundtrack right here is... all of the soundtracks are really great. I will say 2 has some of my favorite songs. Of all 3 soundtracks, though. 2 has a couple that I... And I didn't actually... 2 is the last one I got and played. In 98, I think. Pretty sure it was 98. Oh, there's the Angry Nibbler. I think those things are adorable. They're just constantly not wanting. They're just like, don't take my stuff. The Baza's blockade. So I don't understand the significance of that name either. These I understand. You poke them, they light up. So why not? Gleam and Bream, right? First time I played 2 was in the early 2000s. I mean, that happens. Wouldn't be fair for me to speculate on your age, but at the same time, that could be. I don't know if you were purchasing your own games at that time, or if games were being purchased for you and you were at the mercy of that purchase list. Essentially, that's the thing. The only thing that I speculate, and I do so loosely, is that of the three of us, I think I'm of the people that are here. I think I may be a smidge older, but that's about it. First DKC credits is the most emotional. Yeah, I can say that too. Oh, I love that picture of Bleak. Looks like he should have a big cigar chomp on. You can't do that, but it looks like he should have a big cigar chomping on it in there. Very much. Yes, eh? Next year I'm old enough to vote. No, I don't think that's the case. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the case. Because without divulging anything, I am familiar with jobs that you've held, which you have to be old enough to vote to do, I think. I have to say, I won't speculate on specifics. That's the loose speculation is I believe that that's the only loose speculation I'll make. The DKC bonus room and credits themes of the world. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Themes that I really liked in DKC 2 would be things like Jib Jig and Flight of the Zinger. Those are really impactful songs, and they really set a mood very well. They do kind of what? No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. Where's that from? I can't. I don't know where that's from. I know I've heard that, but I can't think of where that's from. Binny and Bjorn. Bjorn, by the way, just means bear. That's Batman, isn't it? It's not who I am underneath, but what I do defines me. That's Batman, yeah. The Nolan Batmans. So Chris. Good lord. I love Cranky Conga theme of DKC2. Yeah, that one's good too. I tend to like Benny and Bjorn ABBA reference. Yeah, but the fun. I think the thing that's fun about it is Bjorn also just means bear. It just flat means bear. Now I spot that for the first time. There are a lot of clever eye winks in there, for darn sure. Batman Begins, Batman Dark Knight Rises, yeah. I want to take a look at something real quick. So I'm taking a look at something real quick. I'm actually taking a look at seeing if the Siren Ivy's still going. I want to make sure I'm respectful of her time too. If she's still going, then I will transition to something else. If she is not still going, then I will not do that. think she's still alive. I'm looking. No? No, it says she's offline. Check out the stream from 5 hours ago. I hope she didn't end that. Okay, so I want to be respectful of her time too. Goodness. Okay. So you can't skip this, but any which way. So we've passed it in just under 2.5 hours, which is, again, not stellar, but it was fun. I had fun. I like playing this game. I died plenty of times. I don't know exactly how many. I didn't keep a death counter. But I had a lot of fun doing it. I always like kind of going through and doing this again. So I don't know what I'm going to do next time. I don't know if I'm going to go back to... I might go back to Castlevania, finishing that up. We still got a couple of episodes before that'll be finished, just to be completely fair. Great playthrough and stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have fun. I like these. I like these games a lot, and that's why I keep going back to them. But when I start doing, one of the things I want to do is I want to step out of the comfort bubble a little bit and maybe experience. One of the things I don't really do and haven't really done is play a game through here fresh for the first time. Transylvania. All of the games that you guys are seeing me play are, it says an hour 45. I don't think that's accurate, but you know, that's pretty good. That's a good time for as poorly as I played it. But anyway, point being is, I normally when I do it, I go through it. Normally when I go through, or whenever I'm playing, I go through. I've gone through the game already. I've played it outside of this, and so I might try playing some games that I haven't played through, going through there and trying some of that, and maybe not being afraid to do some more newer games rather. Right now, like for example, I'm playing Gotham Knights, so outside of that, so maybe I'd try something like that. There's another game I want to play that I might play for the first time on the channel and maybe off a lot, so we'll see what happens. This is also where if you put in the lives cheat before you've created the profile and saved, this is where you will get the cheat and chump rating. But because I didn't do that, I got Manky Monkey, so. Alright, let's go ahead and transition over. See if we can roll some nice music in. If I have some. There we go. Goodness, I don't know what happened. But anyway, just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for watching. Whether that be you watched currently, or watched through, or you watched after the fact. Big thank you, obviously, to Celestial and Thumbros who were here. Celestial was here just about the whole journey, which I really appreciate. Thumb, when you jumped in, I appreciate always your input and puns and all of the fun that comes with that, and the conversation that was stirred up because you asked a lot of great questions. And again, I didn't want to divulge a lot about a comparative analysis between the first, the second, the third game, just because I know that there's some more in-depth projects with that coming up. But I thought it might be fun to play this one. What I would ask, however, is I have other games that I can go back to and finish. I can go back and do Castlevania and continue on with Order of Ecclesia, which is what we're doing right now. I can go back and work on other games that I've worked on in the past that maybe I didn't finish, or maybe you'd like to see another playthrough of. But what I would ask is, if you have a suggestion, reach out to me any way you want. Twitter's there, YouTube here in the comments works, it doesn't matter. Let me know about games that you would like me to try to play, whether it be retro or new, whether it be something I've played before or never played. I'm really interested in finding out what other people find to be fun and enjoy, what games they enjoy. Or what games, another thing is, what games are you guys wanting to buy that maybe you haven't bought because you don't know if it's any good and you need somebody who is probably buying them anyway. And that's true. There are a lot of games out there that I'm buying regardless, just to try them out, that I like, and I'm a collector, so I'm enjoying it just having it in the collection. Same thing with retro. So if you have a retro game, you're like, oh, I really, it's $100 and I really would like to try it, but I don't know if I want to spend it. Rygar NES? Okay, I've got Rygar. Absolutely. I don't know if I'll be any good at it, but you know what? I'd absolutely play Rygar. So you know what? We'll make that the next solo, and I'm going to say the next solo stream, because obviously when Anna comes in, I want to make sure that we're playing games that she can play with me that she'll enjoy. But the next solo stream I do, then I'll do Rygar. Unless anyone else has another one and wants to vote. But anyway, I'll put that on there. Let me write it down. This is why I keep a pen and paper near me. So I've got it written down, Rygar. Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you for being here for the stream. The stream isn't anything if it doesn't have great people like yourselves to interact, speak, and have fun. The streams aren't intended to showcase anything. They're intended to be a gathering, but it's a room. Let me see here. Let's see. You don't have to play it next time if others like Celestial, Vidia, Omega have a request. Well, I have no problem with that. If other people throw it into the mix, other games into the mix, I may put it to a vote and see what happens. But I'm happy to listen to everybody's opinion, and I've got a notepad right next to me, so I write them all down. So Celestial, also, if you have something that you would like to see, you're interested in, I would be happy to take it into the list as well. No, to your comment about thank you for the stream. The stream is, again, and it always has been, and it always will be, it's the Retro Room. And the Retro Room is a room where the intention is not to be the best game player. It's not to be the most intelligent or knowledgeable game player. It's not to be this, that, or the other. It is just a room where we come in, we play video games that we enjoy, we talk about old memories, we enjoy the company of each other and fellow gamers who share passions like us in this retro spectrum. And the Retro Room originally, while it was dedicated to exclusively retro, I'm finding out that there are people in the audience that are younger than me. I found a couple of people that are quite a bit younger than me, in fact, that are in my audience. These are people that are just starting college, just graduating high school, and they didn't grow up with a lot of this, so that's why I'm willing to actually bring it and branch out into some of the newer games as well. As well as there's a really good retro style that's going on with a lot of games, Blasphemous, and a lot of people really liked Celeste, and I think there's another one out there right now called Tunic, which is in that same kind of vein, Dead Cells, those types of games. So ideally, it's just a room where we're sharing passions, things that we're passionate about, we're talking about, we're reminiscing, we're enjoying old memories, additional opinions and side notes and all that kind of good stuff. So, some of the newer retro inspired games are great. Absolutely. I mean, Shovel Knight, even though that's not really a new game, but a newer game, that's a great example. A lot of them are great. Cyber Shadow is becoming a favorite of mine. Cyber Shadow is amazing. I played Cyber Shadow. I played almost all the way through Cyber Shadow, and I had to drop it because something glitched out and was making me rebuy it, and I got really frustrated because I couldn't figure out that issue. But I need to pick it back up. I just need to bite the bullet, buy it again, figure out what's going on, and just play it through. It was a lot of fun. Very Ninja Gaiden-y, which of course is the purpose. So, But yeah, I mean, again, I really appreciate all you guys coming in, saying hi, talking to me offline as well, for those of you who do. It's a bit cryptic and long for a first playthrough, but I've been enjoying. Yeah, it can be. It definitely doesn't hold your hand as well as maybe some of the retro games would have originally. But I think it does have that expectation that you have been playing games. Where Ninja Gaiden, when you play Ninja Gaiden, it's like, all right, we got to hold your hand a little bit so you can get the mechanics. So, but anyway, you guys all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful week. I might have some more stuff coming out on the Mechanos Cards in terms of short. Coming out on Mechanos Cards channel, as well as on the TikTok Mechanos Cards. If you haven't checked those out, you may want to. I do little cool card shifts and tricks and things like that. But when I'm traveling, which I will be this next week, I'll be out of town away from home. I usually will set up a camera and I will perform for that. And I am also looking to start something else up on the side just for the fun of it, as I am involved in an artistic project as a concept artist, which is really fun. And I felt like I really needed to up my skill set. And so in order to help kind of maintain accountability as well as just be chill, and might as well, I should be starting a new channel up. I won't give the name just yet because I haven't. And on that channel, I'll just have a camera poised and I'll be talking with awesome people while I draw pictures for this project or practice my sketches. And hopefully this project will come to fruition. I think we're looking at a 2-year time frame before we start seeing things come of it in terms of publication and all that. But it'll be really fun. So if you guys are interested, I will share the information as that becomes more readily available. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And that's awesome news. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And but anyway, we will see you guys next time.